wanted to share with you. According to Pew Research, the net worth of white families in 2013 was $141,000. For black families, it was $11,000, even less than the $19,000 it was in 2007. According to economist Edward Wolf of the University of New York, excluding vehicles and other durables, the median black family worth is just $1,700, while 40% of black families have zero or negative wealth. White family worth, in terms of financial worth, is 69 times more than that of black families. Given this disparity, how can you argue that racism is not a driving factor in income inequality?
Because it has nothing to do with race and everything to do with culture. And when you have a culture that doesn't, you know what? Explain to me. You explain to me why black kids aren't graduating high school. Explain that one to me. Explain to me why black kids are shooting each other in rates significantly higher than whites are shooting each other. Explain to me why 13% of the population is responsible for 50% of the murder. Explain to me why the number of black kids in prison, not for innocent reasons, not for walking down the street and getting pulled into a prison, is so high. Explain, if it has nothing to do with culture, explain to me why the single motherhood rate in the black community jumped from 20% to 70% in the same course of time that the civil rights movement has made such tremendous strides. Is America more racist now than it was in 1960? And if it is, please explain to me how that happened.
You're not changing anybody's mind. All you're showing everybody is that your collective IQ, if it were channeled into electricity, might be able to toast a piece of bread lightly. Right, if we shout shame at ourselves and we acknowledge that the system is privileged in our favor, then everything's cool again. All we have to do is just get up and say mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. It's all our fault.
Yay!
Now, before we go any further, decency, 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 decency. Sorry. Okay, if you guys are all going to come up here, can we at least have circle time or something? Are you guys having a tough time seeing?
Safety! 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 Safety!
January to June 2008, 95% of all gun assailants in the city of New York are black or Hispanic.
Guys, again, how many regressions do we have to run? Black and Latino folks are overrepresented in being pulled over, in being sent, in being tried, in being sentenced, in being incarcerated again and again and again and again and again. Run those numbers. You don't believe it. No. What do you mean?
You know why? But the reason I don't believe that is because let's take speeding. No, let's take
democracy when we can't.
Right, because you don't care about them, and I do. So it is not anybody's fault that 50% of the murders in this country are committed by young black men. It's not the fault of the people who are putting them in prison that those people happen to be black. It's not the fault of the New Jersey Turnpike Police that they're pulling over 23% black men when they did a statistical analysis and found that 25% of the people speeding were black. Okay, again, since 1994, in the 75 largest cities in America, when they analyzed whether there's overrepresentation in crimes that were reported, not just crimes that were charged, crimes that were reported versus the prison population, they found that blacks and Hispanics were statistically underrepresented. The biggest problem for blacks and Hispanics living in the inner city is that there aren't enough police officers there to actually take care of them and police the crime and make their city safe for investment in education.
You look at the at least statistics and you say, oh look, there's a study. Hey, there's a massive overrepresentation. Let's just look at drug crimes, which are the largest proportion. So you don't want to talk about gun crime, drug crimes. The predominant reason why people are incarcerated in this country is mostly because of nonviolent drug offenses. And study after study. Black and Latino folks, far overrepresented in terms of arrests, in terms of charging, in terms of sentences, get harsher sentences when they're sentenced.
That's not true. And when it comes to college admissions, for example, there are more women than men going to college.
That's correct.
When it comes to graduate schools, there are more women than men going to graduate schools. Yes. Okay, when it comes to jail, which you just cited, the vast, well over 90% of the people in jail are men. Is that because the system is sexist against men? Arguing that the jailing system is now sexist against men because there are more men than women in prison? That's really your argument?
No, it does happen to also be the case that more men commit crimes.
More
men commit crimes.
Right,